What is up, guys? Alex here. I have the RTX 3080 from MSI. In this video, I'll be reviewing this graphics card, talking about the specs, the price, should you get it, and the design, and pretty much doing a game test at the end of the video of this graphics card and seeing how powerful it actually is. But without further ado, let's get on into that video. So this is the MSI 3080 SUPRIM X version. So it should be the most powerful graphics card or 3080 series. The SUPRIM X, I'm pretty sure, is the most powerful, at least from MSI. But I'm going to start, before I go into the specs, the power consumption. This takes up to 350 watts of power, and they recommend an 850 watt power supply. So yeah, if you're going to get this graphics card, make sure you have the right CPU and make sure you have the right power supply that can hold this. It takes 3 8-pin connectors for you to connect this graphics card. So you are gonna have to keep on managing it a lot, but yeah, just remember, 350 watts of power at maximum, you know what I'm saying, like for maximum, and they recommend an 850 watts power supply. Just make sure you get the right CPU, you get the right power supply, so you can use this 3080 the right way. This graphics card comes with 10 gigabytes of VRAM. I don't know why Nvidia decided to do this, where they supply the 3080 graphics card with 10 gigabytes. I would have liked more 16 gigabytes, and the RTX 3070 to have more, like, 10 gigabytes, but this one has 10 gigabytes of GDDR6X VRAM. So in some games, not that we're in the second generation of ray tracing, some games you're gonna get cut back on some some VRAM, so you won't have that much. And especially now that we're in the second generation of ray tracing, I don't know why they started to do this. Ray tracing for the AMD graphics card, you get 16 gigabytes, but better generations for your graphics card. But for this one, I don't know why they decided to do this. The 3090 has like 29 gigabytes of VRAM, GDDR6X, and this one only has 10 gigabytes, but the same GDDR6X. We're talking a more than $1,000 graphics card. Now the original price for this was going to be like way cheaper, probably like 600 to 700, but the price went up drastically, and especially this is the SUPRIM X version. Still don't know where they decided to do this for a graphics card that costs so much. And I mean, I guess it was kind of understandable when it was the original price, but now that they brought the price up, then it is it doesn't make sense now. It does not make sense now to get this graphics card for the same price. You could probably just pay extra and get the 3090 with 29 gigabytes of VRAM. So weight. So I wanted to mention weight and dimensions before you guys actually get this. How you can measure out from your case how long your motherboard is, and before, if this graphics card actually touches the side panel from the case, in case you were actually getting this. So this graphics card weighs 1882 grams. Pretty heavy. I wouldn't say it's heavier than the 3090, but it's still up there, still pretty heavy. So you definitely want to get a anti-sag bracket so your motherboard doesn't take up on that weight, and thankfully they do include it in the box. So again, since they included one in the box, I'm pretty sure there are better ones on the side, but this one is actually standing up. But it's still 1882 grams is still a lot of pounds, or not pounds, but weight for the motherboard itself. Now the dimensions. So this is 36 by 140 by 61 millimeters. So yeah, this is a pretty long graphics card. Now I'm pretty sure 336 is the width of the graphics card, 140 is the length of the graphics card, and 61 millimeters is actually, I'm pretty sure, the width or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't really pay attention to that like that, but it's still pretty long. So make sure you get those measurements for when you add it to the side panel of your computer. Make sure you get the right case. So this doesn't, especially with the cables, you have to keep in mind that the cables made a little bit of extra sort of depth to it, so it may reach the side panel and it might touch it, and it may be harder for it to close, especially with cases that don't open up, like if it was like a car door and they just slide off. Some cases do that if you unscrew it. But yeah, those are the dimensions. Now I'm talking about more about the specs. And now the cores, it has 8,704 units when it comes to cores, and I'm pretty sure that just equals the 10 gigabytes of VRAM. I'm not sure though, because I just look at the specs. I don't really, know the science behind it, but that's still a lot, or at least it seems like a lot. Now, the extreme performance clock through the MSI Dragon Sensor is 1920 megahertz. Now, while the general preset mode is 905, so you can add that 20 hertz to make it, or you can add 15 to make it 1920 megahertz and make it a little bit faster. But silent mode is going to be 1905, and yeah, it does come with silent mode with the fans if you're playing at the preset mode. But if you overclock it, or not overclock it, but if you what they call extreme mode, the fans will speed up and will be, of course, louder. And it has 3 fans for the best control, and for the best cooling as well, and they are pretty silent, just like MSI says they're silent. And I'm gonna try that out today and showing you guys the game test. So this graphics card takes up to 4 monitors. It has 3 display ports and 1 HDMI. So if you would have to 4 monitors, this would support 4 monitors. Of course, there's a little bit extreme, but again, people do what they want, you know what I mean? But yeah, if you would have 4 monitors, just get the 3090, my guy. Just get the 3090. Now, the memory speed is 19 gigabits per second, so that is pretty fast. Now, this graphics card is just on par. Well, not on par, but it is semi-close to the 3090. Now, the digital maximum resolution is 8K. So, yeah, this holds, basically, is sort of up there, but for a little bit cheaper. Now, like I said, the price did go up, so the 3090 is worth more now. So I guess this does make a little bit more sense to get, just like the 3070 or maybe even the 3060 as well. But yeah, these are all the specs. Now let me show you guys the game test.
Aceleremos ahora. Ahora vamos a ver, estamos. ¿Oyes eso?
Careful not to work yourself to death.